and go to other places other than the 3,500, because there's many out there. We got to spread out the love. There's a lot of places over in the Western Catskills. They might not have views, but the secluded hikes are absolutely phenomenal through the pine forest, through the balsam forest, even through the planted forest that the DEC planted there. The plantations are absolutely phenomenal. The walks through the ferns, Drybrook Ridge, over there in the Western Catskills, Trout Brook. Oh, just amazing stuff. So go anywhere and everywhere. If you think that the 3,500 is just what's only in the Catskills, you are wrong. There are plenty of others. So
wherever you go in the Catskills, you could look down and imagine glaciers below you.
I think the weather challenges on this incident were particularly difficult.
Whereas Panson Mountain is totally opposite. It's a mountain on top of a crater.
It was really the development of New York State. Catskills were responsible.
Yeah.
welcome to Inside the Line, the Catskills. So, John, I have listened to this new podcast. It's from a metal band, lead singer of a metal band that I like. It's absolutely horrible. His recordings are horrible. There's skips here and there and everything like that. But he came up with a good question that I liked, and I want to know because I know our difference in music is pretty insane. What was the first album you've ever bought? Do you remember?
Get a Grip, Aerosmith, 1993.
I knew it. It was a hit song on that.
Well, the hit songs were Crazy and Crying and Living on the Edge and Amazing, but that's not why I got it. I got it because I wanted to listen to Shut Up and Dance, which was showcased in Wayne's World too. Wayne's World introduced me to Aerosmith. And then I remember going through the credits, I found, because that's how you had to do it back then, there was no internet. So I looked through the credits for the album name that song was on, and then went out and bought it. And then I hadn't realized that Aerosmith had already been around for 20 years at that time. So then I started buying all their albums.
Yeah, I knew, you know what? I knew it that you did that. I seriously knew it would be Aerosmith. So yeah, my first album, I believe, was Facelift from Alice in Chains. So I was a big heavy grunge kind of guy, you know, but that was my first album. I actually had to wait in line for that in the mall. I forgot what it was previously called. What was it previously called in the mall? I don't know if you were around at that time. Were you?
Southside Mall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been coming up here since 87, so I always knew it as Southside.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was a record store there, and I remember buying that. But I thought that was pretty.
What, FYE?
Oh, FYI. Oh, FYE. No, FYE, for your entertainment. Correct. Right. Yeah. So I just thought that was really a cool question. And I wonder what people's first albums bought, because we don't buy albums anymore. We don't do that anymore. No, I don't.
I just did, but I only do it for a couple bands. Yeah.
I mean, actually, you know what? I've bought albums, I bought CDs for the bands that are lesser known to help them out. Like Morse Principium Mass, Silosis, stuff like that when they were back old. But those are metal bands. I have to insert some metal songs in here in comparison in between the stuff you listen to and I listen to. It's crazy. But so, John, back when did you start living up here?
Full-time, 2002, 20 years ago.
Okay. But you came up here as a child, right? Like,
we came up every summer since 1987.
Okay. So, remember, oh God, we're old as shit right now. Remember, in the old days when bald eagle spotting was extremely rare. They were actually on the verge of extinction. You remember that?
I mean, to see an eagle anywhere meant you were the shit.
Well, there's eagle spottings. They're trying to eagle spot. I remember East Sydney Dam had a bald eagle's nest, and there would be hundreds and hundreds of people waiting over there to see a bald eagle. And this was back in the 80s.
Yep.
So we were amazed to see a bald eagle. That's crazy that your own country's animal is on the verge of extinction, which is absolutely insane.
Right.
So
I remember actually, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just to piggyback on that. I remember in the late 90s, my aunt and uncle coming up and waiting in Portlandville on the street for hours to see one, because there's been a nest in Portlandville for a while, never showed up.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Portlandville is a great place because that's right on Goodyear Lake, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the DEC released this. In 1976, there was only one pair of nesting bald eagles in New York. Absolutely insane. Of course, by the time we were kids, which was the 90s, that probably grew. There's two within our area, plus our area is very good, known for their fish and stuff like that. So since the bald eagle restoration program ended in 1989, New York's eagle population has continued to grow. In 2017, DEC confirmed of a record-breaking number of nesting pairs of bald eagles in the New York State. 323 pairs of nesting bald eagles. Absolutely insane. I can confirm that because down the street, not even a quarter of a mile away, I have a bald eagle's nest. And absolutely beautiful creatures. It's amazing.
You see them several times a week now.
Yeah. There's two places that they stay right down from my house. They perched on a little tree, and then right over by the state trooper barracks, there's telephone poles that they just hang out on and just watch over the horrible swamp that I don't know if there's any fish. But the other day I saw, when I was on my way home, I saw two bald eagles flying, and then one of them take one of those huge dips, like a huge dive. And I was like, oh, it's going to get something. But then it totally just went right up. And then the other one came right behind it and did the same thing. And I was like, what the hell are they doing? I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was either the mother or father teaching the eagle really quick, the younger eagle, how to dip and then maybe catch something and then go back up. And it was beautiful. Luckily, I put the car in autopilot and I got to watch it without even touching the wheels. So I was sitting there watching and I was just like, oh man, that's so cool. But
awesome. Yeah,
isn't it crazy that, 30 years ago, bald eagles were on the verge of extinction. And now they're our nation's,
they're all over.
Yeah, our nation's bird. Is that a bird or is it's actual animal, right? Our nation's representation, right?
Yeah. Do you know why it is? Why is
that? Please tell me.
It's the only bird that will fly against a storm.
Wow. No shit.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons they selected it.
Holy crap. That is wicked stuff, John. Thank you. Wow. That really represents America, but not at these times.
No, those times have changed.
Those days are over. Yes. That was good. Once again, John and I, talking about Dave Chappelle quotes. So welcome everybody to Inside the Line, the Catskills. This is going to be episode 37. John's here with me. We're going to talk about hiking gems in the Catskills, little offsets from the 3500 Club, the bigger views like, Giant Ledge and stuff like that. I wanted to bring these up because, it's a summer season. We're starting to get into those high flowing times of when there's parking lots are full, stuff like that. And there's definitely other places to go. I'm sure you want to finish those high peaks, but there's definitely other places to go. John has been there with me to many of these places. I have dragged him through some stuff and he still has a lot of places to go to. So John probably can't wait to make me drag him through these treacherous places.
I'm always up for it.
Until
I'm in it.
And halfway through it, you're like, I'm out of here. Yeah. So I'd like to thank the monthly subscribers, Darren White, John Comiskey, Vicky Ferrer, Jim C., Michael Bogner, and Alec Betancourt, and Sarah Bacon. Thank you very much. That was that, John. That was pretty weird. So, John, what are you having to drink?
A little bit of Yingling Golden tonight.
Yingling, that is Indonesian, correct?
No, that is Pennsylvanian.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Actually, passed the brewery just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. When you went down to Virginia. Nice. Excellent. I'm having a good old rum and Coke. Once again, time is short when you work.
Oh, I remember Jack Daniels teamed up with Coca-Cola.
Yes, yes.
Jack and Cokes.
Are they selling that in like
I haven't seen them yet, but I read they were going to.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to try that. That might get me a little smash sometimes.
I don't know the story.
So, John, any previous hikes, brother?
Did Hunter yesterday.
Nice. How was it?
With my nephew. It rained, but it always seems to rain when we go on Hunter. But what I ran into on the way up, the caretaker of the fire tower in the cabin there. So
nice.
That was cool to get to walk up there with him. Spring was very, very ice cold, as it always is. We did the whole thing in about 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Nice. Impressive. Did you go to the viewpoint the John Robb lead to?
We did not. We had really good views at the top of the fire tower, but we didn't go to the viewpoint.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Did you guys get to go in the cabin?
Yes.
Nice. So they had that 360 thing where it could show you the peaks?
Yep. I've never you mean you mean the top of the fire tower or the cabin?
Yeah, the top of the fire tower, which is the cabin.
Yeah. Well, because there's the actual cabin on the ground too. So that was awesome. Jack wouldn't go all the way up, but it was cool to have him there again. He asked to do Utsayantha next, so he's getting into this. Nice.
You guys gonna drive up it or no?
I think we'll drive up to the trailhead and walk the rest of the way.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Of course, that's a great spot. We've always been there. Yeah. Well, once again, thank you. If the caretaker is listening, thank you, the volunteers for that, because that's some wicked stuff. And there's my dog once again. That's Dahlia. Outrageous. I can't say that I've been on any previous hikes because I worked this week. So, damn, I gotta get out there.
And then we'd done Indian Head the week before.
Yeah, I recorded that with another guy. Right. Hey, idiot.
Sorry.
But yeah, I think we plan on going on a hike this week or this coming Tuesday, correct?
Yes. I've been turning down work stuff like crazy.
Yes. Good. Because we're going to probably do something crazy. It's either going to be Wittenberg and Cornell or KHP.
Yeah, I'm probably going to work.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you'd come down with COVID or something like that for the 6th time. Every excuse is a COVID excuse.
No, they're actually really awesome peaks, all 3 of them.
Yeah. So it'll all depend on what happens. So I've been invited to my friend's last grid hike, the 420 grid.
Nice.
Right. Nice. And he plans on to do it on a Saturday or Sunday. So Jason, if you're listening, we hope to join on a Sunday, hopefully. And his last hike is KHP. So it all determines. It all probably will do Wittenberg and Cornell because you haven't done those since when?
2015, those 2.
Yeah. So it's been a while, buddy. So we'll have to do that. And last time Jessica had a great time with you. So we'll have to do that. So once again, the Trailhead Stewards, you can sign up online. Please be a Trailhead Steward. It helps out tremendously, especially with reaching out to the public, to the new people that are hiking. Slide Mountains is where we're at for Trailhead Stewards. I'm signed up for August 7th, I believe. One of those days, 7th or 8th, with my friend Joe. So we'll be there kicking the shiznit and talking about plane crashes, most likely. But if you want to sign up, go to 3500 Club page, go on to stewardship and volunteering, sign up because it's fun. You get to talk to people, you meet new people, you meet new friends. That's what I did. John, hopefully we can get a date together this year and we can go up there and chill. You get a patch for it.
Oh, nice, man. I'm always after a patch.
Yes, definitely. It isn't everybody. That's the way it is. Thank you, French Tornado, for the coffee. I appreciate it. I know who you are. I know your real name. So I thank you for the coffee. I definitely is great. Yeah. So John, let's do some Catskill Mountain history, eh?
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna have John read this one because John is an excellent reader. So this was taken from Michael Kudish's book, the Catskill Forest, a history. John's going to take this one over. Thanks, John.
Yes, actually, I don't have this book, so I'd like to get it. So in this book, he says that large lumber companies were uncommon in the Catskills. Those which did exist were primarily in the town of Hunter. Most cutting was done by the farmers themselves, by operators of small sawmills, and by contract loggers. Some farmers cut wood in their sawmills for themselves, but for a few farmer neighbors and for local wood product industries. In the Roundout area, farmers bought cordwood fuel from a 15-mile radius to 8 brick yards located there. The logging railroads were even more uncommon. There were only 3 lumber companies in the Catskills which used logging railroads. The Fenwick Lumber Company logged Hunter Mountain from 1903 to 1917. A horse-drawn railroad operated on the south slopes of Round Top, and a cable railroad operated in Mary's Glen. The Catskill Lumber Company on the north base of the Indian Head Mountain had not a railroad, but a log slide. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Some of the lumber companies had extensive land holdings in the first 2 decades of this century, but not railroads. William O. Swartzwalder owned thousands of acres from Silver Hollow to the south slopes of Westkill Mountain to supply his chair factory at Chichester. The Wilbur brothers held extensive lands up the east slopes of Olderbark and Plateau Mountains to supply their mill in Mink Hollow. A host of specialty mills produced a variety of products for everyday use. The wood chemical industry in the Catskills was known by other names such as the acid wood industry and the wood distillation industry. Products from this industry included wood alcohol, creosote, wood ashes, acetate of lime, charcoal, wood tar, and formaldehyde. The wood alcohol was used for antifreeze, while some of the other products were used for the manufacture of woolen cloth, and the industry was already operational in 1879 and ran through 1950. So yeah, I definitely have to get this book.
Yeah, right.
Because even though I read a lot about the lumber companies in the other Catskill Mountain book, it was the history of the Catskill Mountains in the American growth. I remember reading about that, but not this detailed. He goes on to say that most of these industries were located along the western periphery of the Catskills in the East Branch Delaware watershed. Most had sidings along the Delaware and Northern and the New York, Ontario, and Western railways. One acid wood plant located deep in the interior of the Catskills was the Lucerne Chemical Company's plant in Arkville. Lucerne logged
Pacacatan.
Yep, but Pacacatan. No, let me do it again. No, I can't do it. Mountain, beginning in 1901. Yeah, I got to practice that one. Baseball bats and bowling pins were made mostly in Livingston Manor and Roscoe areas outside of what we are calling the Catskills. One extant mill still operates in Shandaken, shipping cut sections of white ash to create fine baseball bats. There was a bent wood mill in Boyceville, box factories in Mount Tremper, carpenters' mills, and Wyndham Center made a variety of boxes, including pill boxes and shaving boxes. I wonder if any of those baseball materials go to Cooperstown.
I'm very curious. I would think so. I'd have to definitely look that up. Cool thing about that is, a lot of those logging industries stuff still remains. I know for a fact that the Fenwick Lumber Company stuff up on Southwest Hunter and Hunter Mountain, there's still rail beds laid up there. Very weird. I thought it was like 3/4-inch rail beds, which is very odd. But just imagine going up to like 3,500 feet from either side. Most likely I would think that would be the eastern side that leads from Chichester to Catskills, because that's where the Ulster and Delaware County Railroad would come up. Amazing stuff. I recently had a friend, Harold Oakhill, that went up there and scouted those areas and took pictures of before and after, of course, of the forest growth. And I have seen pictures of the old times. Like you said, the cool thing of the logging, the log chute basically it was really, really wicked.
Oh, yeah. Log slide.
Yeah, they had a log slide, and the way it looked, it seriously looked like a chute. There was really wide, and then it went down to like a single or a double lane, and the logs would just flow with water down through there and just slide all the way down to the bottom. It was absolutely phenomenal. I'll have to get some pictures of this. I'm trying to get Dr. Kudish on here to talk about this because it's really huge. Delaware and Ulster County railroads were the beginning of railroads in the United States. It was the absolute beginning of railroads, and that's huge, especially coming from this small place in the Catskills, which now are basically forgotten because, the White Mountains, the Adirondacks are all popular, but we have the history here that really shows how awesome the Catskills were and how awesome they still are. So awesome. Thanks, John. Thanks for reading that. Really crazy stuff. Once again, the logging industry, what is it? What else was it? The tanning industry, all the other industries, big stuff in the Catskills made the Catskills what it is right now. So awesome. Thanks, John. I appreciate you. So let's how about we get on to the good old topic of the night. So I call this hiking gem of the Catskills other than the 3,500.
Let's go.
So everybody knows the 3,500, of course. So these are little hiking spots that I know of, that I've been, that we've done. John's done as well. John's done very many of these with me, actually. And they are not really 35. I got one 3,500 on here, but it shows it from a different way. But most of these have big trailheads. One of them really doesn't, but it's still one of my favorites. I got to say, it's one of my favorites in the Catskills. And they're not too difficult. I got to admit, they're not too bad unless you are completely not a hiker. So I had John look at this, and he agreed with me. So let's get into it. So one of the first hiking gems that a lot of people know and that a lot of people go to, but it's still an amazing spot in the Catskills, is the famous Escarpment Trail over on North-South Lake. John's been with me several times, or you've been with me once on this one? Was that the winter hike?
Once there. And we did that after a mountain climb. So we had a lot of time left for the day.
Correct. I know you've been twice there with me, buddy.
Yes, I have. You're right. And
Yeah.
it was also North-South Lake was my first mountain. But you're right. I have been there with you twice.
So you've been there 3 times now.
Yes.
Because you went there with yourself. We went after we did Hawkett, and then we went with Travis.
Right.
So once again, you can go in the Escarpment Trail. This is I'm generally speaking of the North-South Lake area. There's several parking areas, several huge parking areas, because of course Catterskill Falls and the North-South Lake region is very popular. But still, it's definitely worth it. Doesn't matter if you run into people; it's absolutely worth it. You can also make it your own lake. There's the Laurel House parking area, Scott Road, North-South Lake parking areas all have like 3 different places. Mary Glen parking area, somewhat on the side of the road, and all these places you really need to get a map for this area, because there's so many hiking trails, there's so many different spots, there's so many viewpoints that it can be very confusing. So just get a map, take a look at the map, what you want to do, mark it out, and then do it, because it's very worth it. Very little elevation gain on the southern escarpment when you're going down below North-South Lake. There's a little bit more elevation gain when you're going up north to North Point and North Mountain and Sunset Rock, Artis Rock, stuff like that. But it's very, on the southern escarpment, very little elevation gain. Probably, actually, you get more of an elevation loss when we went around there. But when you go to the north, it's around 800 feet of elevation gain. You get the beautiful view on North Point, and on the southern escarpment trails, you get fantastic views along the whole hike. You get the Catterskill Clove in the beginning of the hike. You also can stop at Catterskill Falls if you want to. Adds a little bit more, probably like a mile longer. And then you just go around the escarpment and get views everywhere.
Yeah, it's like reward after reward after reward.
And it's very little effort, which is crazy. Once again, it's just a fantastic hike. You can make it your own length. You can go from one end and make it a couple miles if you want to see one viewpoint. You can go from another end to make it a couple miles again to see a couple viewpoints. But it's definitely, you got to research what you're doing because there's a lot of trails on there. There's definitely a lot of trails leading up to viewpoints, old ruins. Actually, it leads up to the Catterskill Mountain House that used to be up there, and then the Catterskill Mountain House that's up at the top of South Mountain. So you have history, you have viewpoints, you have basically everything, open parking areas. It is a fantastic hike. John and I have done this, I don't know how many times, when there's a crappy trail day, or, I don't want to wear snowshoes or something like that, or ice, I'll take this as a side and I'll just sprint along this because it's, like I said, very little elevation gain and loss. And you could also make it your own hike. You don't want to go all the way around and then hike back on the road from north-south. Like, you can do that. John and I did this. We'll talk about the southern part when we did with Travis, and that was pretty phenomenal. Viewpoints after viewpoints, and it was winter time, right? We didn't have to wear spikes, did we?
No. I was going to say too that this hike is perfect for people that want awesome views but can't really handle a peak or don't really want to do a peak. It's perfect for that. Yes,
I agree. If you want to take like a day off or something like that from climbing a high peak or high elevation, this is perfect. Very many historic places along there. You have, of course, the Catskill Mountain House, which is a big open area where it used to be. It burned down, unfortunately. And then you have the top of South Mountain where it has the Catterskill Mountain House, which is actually a really, really cool area because it still has the basin. I don't know. I haven't taken you up there, John, have I?
No.
Okay. I take you around. Actually, I'd have to say, John, you've been there 4 times.
Oh, to the house?
No, you've been around the escarpment 4 times. You went with me and Travis. You went up yourself with Nikki's dad.
Al. Yeah.
You went up there with Al.
Yep.
You went with me to go up after Hawkett, and then you went with me in the summertime again. Remember?
Yeah. I can't even keep track anymore.
Yeah, it's just a fantastic place. And I remember when there's oh God, let me pull up the map real quick to find out how many viewpoints that you get along this trail. So let's say you're going from Scott Road, which adds around a mile extra, but it's a big parking area. Perfect. You take the yellow trail, and then you start going you take the blue trail. You take the blue trail. You stay on the blue trail. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within the first mile. You get another spot, which is Inspiration Point, a big, beautiful thing. You keep following it on the blue trail, and you'll get another one, Boulder Rock, which is a massive rock, huge glacial erratic on the side. I took a picture with you next to it, John. You're like nothing compared to that.
Yeah.
You keep going on the blue trail, and you get to another viewpoint that faces over the Hudson Valley. You get to Catskill Mountain House, which faces over the Hudson Valley. And then you just take a left and you go in the parking area, and then you just follow the road all the way back. You can take the yellow trail and then up to the blue trail to back to Scott Road. And that's what we did, John, with I think we did it ourselves. We did it from there. And when we did it with Travis, so I'm pretty sure that one viewpoint we had a little to drink, correct?
One of those times, yes.
Yeah, and I didn't want to follow the trail, so we bushwhacked through those huge boulders.
Yep. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm sick and tired of this trail stuff. I'm going to bushwhack. Yep. We went through those boulders.
Yeah, that took energy. But this hike that we're talking about overall, you don't really have to exert all that much energy. You probably just walk it all day long if you wanted to. But when you start to bushwhack, then you start
becoming a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's when it gets tougher, at least for me.
That's not bad. It wasn't bad. You could you can also, there's a bunch of northern spots that you can do. You can park along the north-south lake. I forgot to add that you have to, in the summertime, I'm pretty sure you have to pay $10 to get in because it is I think a New York State designated park. So you need to pay $10 to get in, it's totally worth it with the viewpoints. or you could stay outside of it, park at Scott Road. It'll add a couple of miles to everything, but you can see there's Mary Glen's Trail. There's Rock Shelter Trail, and it leads up to North Point. Mary's Glen has beautiful, like 30-foot waterfall, very beautiful. Once again, very little elevation gain till the end. North Mountain has a beautiful, fantastic open viewpoint that looks over the southern part of the Catskills. You can see Catterskill High Peak, Round Top, North South Lake. Beautiful area for a sunset. John's first was, what was that again? Was that your first hike in the Catskills ever?
North South Lake. Yeah.
Yep.
The first one. And also it was the only one I intended on doing.
Ever?
Ever until I saw the views. And then as soon as I saw the views, I'm like, I have to see every viewpoint in this range before I die.
Correct. And it gets you hooked. It really does, especially that viewpoint, because that is a massive open viewpoint. I know in the summer it's very, very crowded, but I have been there in the summer on a weekday where I've been the only one up there. Seriously, it is fantastic. You can also continue on North Point to Stopple Point, which has a plane crash, actually. Pretty wicked. I got to take you there, John. Maybe that'll be in our next hike together.
All right.
Once again, it's a fantastic area, but there's trails galore. So you got to do your research before you go over there, and you got to see which one you're going to take and how many miles it's going to be, because sometimes it could end up looking like it's like 2 miles when it's actually 6, especially that if you take the Southern Escarpment and you take that road walk back. That's all. I mean, it's not a long road walk, but it is. It feels horrible. And people pass you doing like 80 miles an hour and you try to throw a rock at them. But it's awesome in the winter because there's absolutely nobody on the trail. So awesome spot. One of the gems in the Catskills. Again, love that area. And you can never get enough, actually. You can just keep going back and find something new every time. And John, what about your, I mean, I know you've had your thoughts to this, but what else can you say? Anything else?
No, just that it is, it's perfect for, a lot of people that visit from out of state and they want to do something in the Catskills because I'm always showing them everything I'm doing in the Catskills. This is what I would take someone on who, can't get all the way to the top, but still want to experience the Catskills. It's perfect. Correct.
And then right next door is Catterskill Falls, of course, the biggest attraction in New York State. I would say I'm pretty sure that's the biggest attraction because besides Taconic Falls up in Ithaca. So it's very, very popular. So excellent spot. Let's go on to our next one. John, I don't know if you've been here. I have. It is still in the North South Lake region. It's called the Harding Road Hike to Palumville Overlook. I think I still got to take you to Palumville Overlook. And it's a very, very somewhat easy hike. It's I'm not sure on the mileage because the last time I tracked it, it said like 8 miles, which is totally wrong. I'm pretty sure it's around 4 to 5 miles with 1,000 feet of gain. It's steep. It's got switchbacks, but it's worth it. It leads up to the Palumville Overlook, which overlooks the Catterskill Clove in the Hudson Valley. Amazing spot. Also, it has those cool chairs like in Sugarloaf and Twin, the old rock chairs. Yeah, you've seen that. So it's really wicked.
Yep. Jack wants to go see them.
Well, yeah, you got to take him to him. This used to be an old carriage road that would bring supplies up the Catskill Mountain House and the Catterskill Mountain House. Once again, it's switchbacks. It's not well marked. You got to start off at the road of parking area off of 23A at the bottom of the Clode. I believe it's called Palumville parking area. It's I don't know if it's, I haven't been there in a while, so I don't know if it's named, but off of 23A at the bottom of the Clove, when you're going down, you'll see it off to your left. Follow the yellow trail, and then not even a quarter of a mile into the yellow trail, you take a left, and you're on basically the old carriage road. Trail can diminish at times, of course, because it's not marked, but it's easy to follow. It's very easy to follow. It's switchbacks all the way up. It's pretty steep. It gets steep at times, but it's nothing that you can't like handle. It's nothing like scrambles and scary stuff. It was an old carriage road, so it was made to be easy. And then once you get up to the Palumville Overlook, you are looking at the deep Hudson Valley, and then right up to Catterskill Cove. It's absolutely phenomenal spot. Great place to have a lunch. Great place to maybe watch the sunset. I haven't watched the sunset there. We got to do that, John. I don't know if Jessica would be up for it.
No, she did pretty good on Indian Head.
She did. It's because you had a companion.
That's true.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, that's a short one that we talked about. It's not too crazy, but the Palumville Overlook is definitely worth it. The Palumville Overlook is an amazing spot. I wouldn't say very few know about, but very few know about. It's more of the locals. And unfortunately, the locals trash it up and have fires there and, beer cans everywhere.
I got to tell you, too, I lived in Saugerties for 2 years and never took advantage of living there. I regret that, because these would have been incredible for if you live in the area.
Yeah, you were right next to these.
It's right next to them.
Damn, man.
I was in it.
How long did you live there?
99 to 2001.
Okay, 2 years. So, I mean, it sucks, like I think, 99, what were you, how old were you?
18.
Yeah. So we didn't have, I don't know, the passion we did, as we do now. It was just at that age, we were just like, yeah, let's get life started and let's see what we can do with money. Other than that, it was basically like, let's make some money. We need to fix this car up and stuff like that.
Right. And I left Saugerties for Michigan. I mean, and Michigan has zero elevation.
Hockey.
So, yeah.
It's like hockey rinks everywhere. So yeah, check out the Harding Road hike to Palumville Overlook. Once again, get yourself a map, preferably a newer map, because it shows the old herd path. And like I said, switchbacks all the way up. Great hike, leads to a phenomenal view that you can't forget. I said, here, listen, Catskills, the only person that's climbing these peaks is going to be John. But yeah. All right. So John, the next one about, you've been up there several times with me. It's actually a little bit further. I maintain the trail up there. So another local gem that I love, Camel's Hump from Barnum Road. Beautiful hike. One of my favorites in the Catskills. I don't know. It's just, it offers everything. If you want to go just to Camel's Hump from Barnum Road, it's probably 4.3 miles there and back hike. Can't do a loop or anything like that. You start at Barnum Road in Maple Crest. You got to probably research where it is. I can't give you the exact destination. There is a limited parking area. In the winter, you cannot park in the snowplow turnaround, but in the summer you can. You will follow a marked trail that flows along private property, which is really cool because it's an old, like flat road, or like kind of like a flat rocked road. It looks like they put rocks down, and it leads along several places that could have waterfalls when the water's flowing. Then you get to a little left-hand turn, and you'll see the register over there to your left, and then you follow the red blazes. You got to respect the owner's private property, please. I've seen people go up to the pond, which is a big no, because that's private property. The pond is their property. Just leave it alone. Don't be a dick. Once again, this climb seriously offers everything. Seriously, everything. Beautiful walk through the woods, switchbacks. There's a scramble in it, which is really neat. Beautiful views, several views here and there. You basically get everything of the Catskills in this hike. And I seriously can't think, that's the reason why I took it. Not many people want to take on this trail as a volunteer and to maintain this trail past Camel's Hump up to Camas Cole, because it's such a long, kind of exhausting hike. It really is exhausting, but it's worth it because it gives you everything. Once you get up to, you start doing all the elevation game, you get up to Claudville's Hill. That's what they call it. I'm pretty sure that's on the maps. I've never called it that. I just call it the first bump. Once you get up to that, there's a little viewpoint right before that. But once you start stop the elevation gain, it's an absolutely stunning hike. You just are basically on flat ground, and you gradually gain up to Camel's Hump. And then there's the most famous tree in the Catskills up there. John, you remember the Christmas tree up there?
Yes.
There's a lone pine tree, a lone balsam sitting up there, huge, tall. You can see it from the roads in Wyndham. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely beautiful.
It should be decorated in the winter. They should put lights on it.
Hopefully Greg is listening to this. Greg, reply. We got to do that this winter. But we're going to.
But that would violate leave no trace, because the caretaker for the Hunter Fire Tower was up there kicking cairns over like crazy.
Hell yes, brother, represent. I love that.
He did. He turned around and he told everybody that was up there. He's like, just so you know, this is illegal.
Illegal. Yeah, understandable. It is really. And John, you've seen me do that several times.
Yeah, I do it too.
Yeah, it's I mean, you know, if you're going up the Adirondacks above tree line, that's okay, because they're huge cairns at the size of a goddamn car. Down here, it's just stupid art. Don't do that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let it go. But once again, this hike starts out like a gradual gain, nice and flat, and then you'll start gaining a little bit of elevation, but it's just switchbacks. It's beautiful. And then right before one of the viewpoints, you hit some awesome kind of scrambling. It's not that bad of scrambling, right, John?
No.
But it's still pretty cool, like intense stuff. Yeah, it keeps your hearts flowing. And then you get up to top of Claudia Hill, and then you'll be a gradual gain to Camel's Hump. And then right next to Camel's Hump is Thomas Cole Mountain and also Black Dome as well. It adds around 4 miles to hike, so total hike would be around 8 miles. But you can knock those 2 peaks off your list from a beautiful area, Camel's Hump. And then they have the greatest maintainer in the world from Camel's Hump to Thomas Cole. I just love that guy. He's like he just does a great job. Correct?
He does. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Actually, he's horrible. He's a freaking loser. But yeah, John, your thoughts on this amazing hike?
It's a lot like the Catterskill High Peak, in the sense that it gives you a little bit of everything the Catskills has to offer, but from a totally different perspective. It's awesome. I've done it a few times.
You did the whole range, correct?
Did the whole range on the first day of summer in 2018.
I still can't believe you did that. I couldn't do
It's
that.
It's a long day.
It's a long day.
It's a long day. But look, after you climb Wittenberg and Cornell, and then Cornell and Wittenberg in a day, you can handle the Blackhead Range.
Yeah. It's a killer hike. I just love that hike. And once you go, if you want to go further, you go from Camel's Hump to Thomas Cole. It's a nice gain from there to the top of Thomas Cole. Thomas Cole is what, 3,900 feet?
It's top. They're top 5, aren't they?
Yeah. So hold on. Once again, I got my maps right here. Going from Camel's Hump to Thomas Cole. Thomas Cole is 3953 and Camel's Hump 3558. Camel's Hump is not a 3500 because it doesn't have the how do I say it? What do I say, John? The classification or something like that it goes from 200 to, it doesn't go down from 200 feet from the top of Thomas Cole or top of Camel's Hump.
Oh yeah. You mean in the cult to the next peak?
Yes. Yeah. So it needs to have a 200-foot drop between both peaks, and it doesn't have that.
Right.
So yeah, but it's good. It's a good 400 feet gain, but it's gradual. It happens in 0.9 miles, which is very nice. It's nothing too crazy that you have to handle. But once again, this is a beautiful hike.
I loved it. And it was one that I went with my friend Jeff on, and he actually did not struggle too much. So, it's definitely doable. And like you said too, you can tack a whole bunch more. You can do the whole rest of the range if you want. That would take some more planning though. Definitely. It's a gem. It's a gem.
It definitely is. Yeah, I remember we did it that one time when it was complete fog and wind, and it was almost scary.
Yeah.
The fog was rolling in like a horror movie.
The solitude up there specifically in that range. When you're the only ones up there and it's foggy and windy, it's cool. It can be scary.
Yeah. We had some good winds. We had like 30-mile-per-hour winds the whole time. Some wicked stuff. And once again, you go in the week time, you'll be the only one up there. John, I remember you said you ran into a ranger, correct?
I believe I've only ran into a ranger once in all my my time, and you were with me when I did that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was double top. Oh, I thought you said you ran into someone who said that was Claudia Hill, and I told you that's wrong.
I don't think she was a ranger, but maybe that's why she was wrong.
All right. So another gem in the Catskills, Camel's Hump from Barnum Road. Check it out. All right. So just going over, I think we got a couple more and two more, John, that you've been on one of these with me, but the next one is Tremper Mountain from Jessup Road, which is also called the Willow Trail and the Willow Creek Trail. I got to take you up this one, John.
I was going to say, that's not the one I went on.
No. So usually everybody goes from the southern end of Tremper Mountain, which is a very steep, switchbacky hike, loose dirt, rock. I think to me it's a horrible hike. It's just not as great as I think it is. So this hike from Jessup Road, which you go into Mount Tremper, you stay on the road that goes alongside of Tremper Mountain where the parking area is, and then you keep going and take a left, or you keep going all the way to Egley Road, and you take a left on Jessup Road and lead to a big parking area. They just refinished this parking area, massive area. But this is definitely a longer hike when you want to go up to Tremper Mountain. Definitely a lot longer, around maybe 2 miles longer, with 1,700 feet of gain. Not bad. But if you think about it, 7.5 miles cut in half is around 3.7 miles, 3.8 miles of 1,700 feet of gain isn't bad compared to what is Tremper Mountain? Tremper Mountain is 1.6 miles with, looks like 1,700 feet of gain. So the same 1.6 miles with 1,700 feet of gain is absolutely insane. Don't want to do that. But bigger parking lot, great area, a lot longer, but gradual gains to me makes it more enjoyable. Follows an old carriage road at the start that leads up to the middle junction that leads you into Warner Creek Trail and the Willow Creek Trail. Well, it's the Warner Creek Trail, part of the long path. You take a left on that, and then you start to ascend up Tremper Mountain, and it's very gradual, very nice area that brings you through different forests. It's really great. There's a lot of big weird rocks over there. I tripped on a couple, but it's leads you straight up to, of course, the Great Tremper Mountain, which they just restored the windows in there. So thank you, volunteers, for making that happen. I recently heard from the Catskill Trail Conditions page, which if you want a lot of information, please go there, that there was rattlesnakes found on this trail. So I didn't previously know of that. I wish I did, because we were flying through that and not caring at all. And rattlesnakes are some serious shit. So keep an eye out of rattlesnakes. But like I said, it's a great gradual hike up to the top. You get the beautiful views from the top of the fire tower. If you don't get in the cabin, if you can't get in the cabin, they're only open on the weekends, you can still see a great amount of the Southern Catskills, which is, the Burroughs Range, Table, Peakamoose Mountain, stuff like that. And then you get far north, you get Hunter Mountain, you get the Indian Head Mountain Range, which is also Devil's Path. And I think you can see part of Thomas Cole Mountain, which is really wicked. I mean, John, you've been up to Tremper from the other way. How many? You've been up there a couple times, correct?
Just once on Tremper.
You're going to be going again though with Jack.
Yes. Yep. This year. This probably next month.
Oh, nice. I suggest. I mean, it's longer. It's around the same length as what's it called? As Hunter Mountain. So I would suggest taking this way if you want a better experience.
Yeah, it's a different experience. So yeah, it's a great idea.
Are you going to yawn? You look like you tried to yawn there.
No, no, no. I was actually looking at the Catskills on Wikipedia, and I was surprised at how many individual mountains have their own pages.
Oh, excellent. Interesting.
Check that out sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. If also, I forgot to bring this up. I should have bring this up at the beginning. Check out, if you want to look up a lot of this stuff, check out Catskill Mountaineer.
Yes.
Webpage. What a great subs.
Love that website.
I've been trying to get I've gotten a hold of Michael, who runs the webpage, but he's got a lot of stuff on his shoulders. So hopefully we'll get him on here and talk about that, because he is once a legend in the Catskills. I think a guy who created that page and that forum is a goddamn legend.
Yeah. They have listed like almost every incident that involves a phone call is listed on that website.
Correct. And they have so many awesome ways. I've never found a better hiking webpage than this webpage, to be honest. I've looked for the White Mountains, I've looked for the Adirondacks, and when I went to the Canadian Rockies, I couldn't find. But Mike Cantwell, hopefully he listens to this. You are a freaking phenomenal person that has mapped out the Catskills greatly for us newbies, and for us to help us out with the 3,500 peaks and other places. I mean, when I first started out, I wrote this all down on a freaking pen and a notebook pad and mapped everything out. So he helped me out tremendously. So Mike, thank you. Once again, check this stuff out on Catskill Mountaineer webpage. And check out Tremper Mountain from Jessup Road. John, I suggest you do that next time. It's very nice. You would like that hike.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? You can see the elevation gain. It's not bad.
Yep.
Yeah. So not bad. It leads up to the fire tower. You don't have to freaking go with the loose rock and stuff like that. I never liked that hike going up to Tremper. It's just super steep the whole freaking way up. Never get a rest. Yes, hello.
Yeah, I see another. I love too that. Yeah, you should just definitely go to the Catskill Mountaineer website. They've got everything you can possibly imagine on there that you need to know for everything.
Correct. I like it. So let's bring it to our last hiking gem of the night.
All right.
You have been here with me. I recently went up here not even a month ago. It's a 3,500 club hike. That's why I listed it last, because I thought it would be appropriate, because everybody seems to go from Route 3 on the other side. This is Bear Pen Mountain from Heisinger Road. Nice parking area, good place to grab at least, like I would say around like 8 or 9 cars, maybe 10. It's around 6.5 miles and 2,000 feet of elevation gain total round trip there and back. This used to be an old road that used to bring up supplies to the old ski center, which used to be called the Princeton Ski Bowl, one of the greatest, was on to be one of the best ski centers in the Northeast. I actually have 2 episodes with a guy named Russ Chappelle on here. So check those out. Pretty neat stuff. Bear Pen has huge remnants of the old ski center at the top. It's all full of switchbacks. The only negative thing about this, besides the elevation gain, which is it's good with the switchbacks, but in the summer the ticks are horrible. I recently went up there and the freaking ticks were absolutely. I had pulled 4 off of me. Luckily they weren't embedded. 2 off of my friend. Ridiculous. I'm getting sick and tired of this tick crap.
Does the permethrin not work well for them?
The permethrin was working okay, but they also, the tall grass, throw that thing in the tall grass.
They'll throw that in the tall grass, never to be seen again.
And that's the thing. That's what I did. I threw those ticks in the tall grass, never be seen again. Actually, I split them in half. Screw those ticks. But it's just, I think I sprayed it on my feet and not, I had shorts on. So it kind of leaves you vulnerable to the stupid ticks. But beautiful hike all the way up to top, switchbacks. You go through different birch forest which is absolutely phenomenal. Once near the top, you enter like a tunnel of birch, and it's absolutely stunning. You get to the top, there are old remnants of the ski center. You have trucks that used to be pulley systems. You have a truck sitting up there that used to just be a old supply truck. Up at the top, you get stunning views from where it used to be the old ski center. If you look around, you can find some of the old chutes of the ski center, some of the old ski slopes, which is really wicked. But the best part is you get up to the top of the spot where all the remnants are, where the trucks are. You take a right, keep going on the trail, and it'll lead you to the end of the trail that when it starts going down, you look to the right and to the left, there's 2 viewpoints. Beautiful, stunning viewpoints that you can stay at for hours, because you can also run back down, which will take some more time off. But those viewpoints are absolutely phenomenal. Looking over the eastern Catskills, Prattsville, you can see a lot of good stuff. And then you look over to the west, which is the western parts of Catskills, very rarely seen unless you're on top of one of the fire towers. Beautiful stuff looking over Vega and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I've done bear pen from both ways. And I want to say one was definitely in the winter, and the other, I did it with Jeff once, and I did it with you once. And the views are phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's so many, because there's 3 viewpoints, and they all, it's almost, it's not a 360-degree view, but it's probably 180. It's great.
Yeah, true. And then you got the old parts of the ski center, which are amazing. And sometimes you can actually, go up there and imagine what it used to look like, what it used to be with those pulleys up there, or, those trucks up there that used to bring people, or that ski slope that went down. Man, Russ, with those episodes that I had before, I had a great imagination of telling the story of what it used to be and what you could think. Like I explored a little bit further the last time I went up, and I found 2 little chutes that I could see of old slopes that are kind of getting grown in. So I want to map those out before before those get totally grown in. I hope to bring John up there with me, but we'll have to do that in the winter when there's no ticks. At least when there's ice and there's no ticks. I don't want to go through those areas in the summer.
I think the view is better in the winter, actually, up there.
Good point. You can actually probably see further. You can see east over. You can probably see as far as the Hudson Valley over there. That's pretty far view. And then there's a bunch of different small mountains you can see on Ontario, the East Jewett Range. There's a bunch of different areas that you can look over there. And then you look over to the west, and it's just the rarely seen parts of the Catskills, which is, the western Catskills. Just, I don't think there's named peaks over there, but I'm not sure of the named peaks. You can see the Plattskill Ski Center. You can see Mount Usiantha, which is over there. You can see all the freaking obnoxious 200 towers on the top of that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's blocks. They're obnoxious, but I understand. But yeah, if you want to go outside the lines of the Catskills, check out Mount Usiantha. You can drive up to the top, which I don't recommend. I recommend hiking up to the top because it's better. It's very easy, short hike. It's a little steep, but you don't have to deal with the cars coming up and down and the possible going off the side of the road and freaking tipping your car, which has scared me thousands of times. It's absolutely insane. Plus, everybody says that you can drive up there, so you got people who are dumb and just don't know how to drive, which is sad. But you get up to the top, beautiful views. John and I have been up there, I don't know how many times.
At least 3.
Yeah, at least I've been up there at least 6 times. We went up for that sunset that one time. Was absolutely phenomenal.
I had some of the best pictures some of the best pictures I've ever taken from up there.
Yeah. So if you're outside the line, check out Mount U. Check out Platte Hill Mountain. I'm pretty sure you can hike from the base to the top of that. That's pretty cool. And get beautiful views to the eastern and to part of the southern part of the Catskills. So very beautiful spot. If you have any other gems, let me know. John, can you think of one that you can just off the top of your head? Of course we can mention, it's already popular, but Huckleberry Point.
That's I absolutely love that. I would love to go back there.
Right on. Same here.
That was a great one.
Just not on the weekends.
You don't really want to do anything in the Catskills on the weekends.
That is true. That is true. So John and I went up to Catterskill High Peak on the weekend, and it was also, I forgot what the race was. Was it Run the Ridge or something like that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and we got in we got a parking area in the beginning, and on the way down, we're sitting on the way down. This guy takes a massive digger, seriously massive digger, and hits his knee and tumbles maybe 5-10 feet. And
that guy was covered in blood.
Yeah, we ran over and we sprinted over. We're like, dude, you okay? You're all right. He's like, I'm fine. And blood is gushing down his leg.
No, he was like, I'm perfectly fine. I'm okay.
Yeah, while he's humbling down the mountain trying to walk on stilts.
He's not fine.
But luckily, they were only 500 yards from the trailhead. So
yeah,
he got help right away. But we went down there and it was just absolutely insane. We had no clue. I had no clue this was going on. I should have had a clue, but we tried to get out of there. It took us 15 minutes to get out of there, correct?
Yeah, I had to have other cars move.
Yeah.
So I could get out. And then there were people just camping out all over. Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, it was horrible. I should have known that was happening, but I didn't. But that guy took a massive digger. And wow, I've seen blood before, but this was gushing down his leg. And he seriously said, he was like, I'm fine. And then he kept running. I'm just like, wow, this guy's just crazy psycho.
Yeah, he was tough.
Yeah, but the Huckleberry Point, check it out during the week. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm trying to think of where else. Poet's Ledge. I was going to bring that one up, but that one's a tough one to navigate because there's some road walking and then some turns that you can't. I've done it twice and I'm still confused by the turning on that. So Poet's Ledge, check it out. It's not pretty high gain, but it's a beautiful view of the Catterskill Clove. Where else, John? What else could we think of?
The first thing we talked about was the Escarpment Trail, and that's what always comes to mind first.
Right. Anything along that, please.
Yeah,
please
anything along it. And also, please register.
Yeah.
I ran into some people on Overlook that said, what's that book for? And I said, it's the registration book. And they said, well, what's it for? And I said, well, it's for, trail funding, but also the most important parts are safety. And then they were kind of just like, we don't need to sign that. And they just left. I mean,
I don't need that union, that safety shit.
I don't need that registration book. Sign the registration book. There's no reason not to.
And how long does it take? 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely there's some hidden gems in the Catskills. You gotta check out that Catskill Mountaineer website and go to other places other than the 3,500 because there's many out there. We got to spread out the love. There's a lot of places over in the Western Catskills. They might not have views, but the secluded hikes are absolutely phenomenal through the pine forest, through the balsam forest, even through the planted forest that the DEC planted there. The plantations are absolutely phenomenal. The walks through the ferns, Dry Brook Ridge over there in the Western Catskills, Trout Brook. Oh, just amazing stuff. So go anywhere and everywhere. If you think that the 3,500 is just what's only in the Catskills, you are wrong. There are plenty of others. So we're gonna last part of the night is something that was suggested from a listener, Mary T. I'm gonna try to say your last name. Tetrialt. Does that look right, John?
Let me see.
Yes. Hello. Tetrialt.
Yeah, Tetrialt. Yeah.
Tetrialt. Yeah. So Mary, thank you for suggesting this. We're going to call this post hike brews and bites. We're going to try to suggest every episode a place to eat afterwards. So the one place I was thinking about that I've been to after a hike, which is very great, is Woodstock Brewing. down near Tremper, between Tremper and Phoenicia. Absolutely stunning burgers, great brews. I'm not a brew guy, so I had soda. Same with Jessica, so I'm not a beer guy. So I've heard great things about them. So Woodstock Brewing, check it out after a hike. If you're on your way back to the thruway, or if you're on your way back from like Woodstock up to, the northern Catskills or western Catskills, check it out. John also thought of a place up in Stanford called Mcadoodles. We've gone there several times. Beautiful, great location, and also great food that we've eaten several times and gotten very fat over.
It's a Roscoe diner.
Roscoe Diner, of course, that's already. Oh yeah, well that's a little outside the line.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's 2 places. That's good, John.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John, thank you for joining me. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Thank the monthly donors. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You keep me going. Everyone who is listening, I thank you very gratefully. It's just been awesome. I hope to keep on doing this. Subscribe on any platform. Look me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a website. If you have the time, shoot me a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you use. John, have a good night.
Yes, likewise.
I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Wittenberg, Cornell.
Wittenberg, Cornell. All right.
Yeah, you're probably going to have COVID, right?
Yes, I'm working on it.
All right, John, have a good night, buddy.
Yes, you too.